Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another podcast. You have to be in the world of the select to understand. Now, this is kind of a follow-up talking about select men have issues too. And, really a big issue with it is a lot of dudes, quite frankly, don't live in that world. And I'm going to tell you what, because, I don't do that usual alpha and beta thing. Because in my view, a true alpha is a leader of large groups of men. And everybody isn't that. And plus, it's a relative term. But I believe select and non-select is, at least the way I see it, more descriptive. Because, I can argue with somebody forever about that. But the point is, in order to really understand the world of the select, you can't be on the outside looking in. Because you're not seeing what's going on behind closed doors. Because there's in the world of the select, as I just talk about it, or select men as I talk about it in my books, particularly my international bestseller, Nice Guys and Players, right? There's two types of men who are select. One are the Mr. Goodbar types, or as I'm going to start using more, the sexual kings. Right now, those are guys. They're going to get women like crazy. They got women throwing themselves at them, right? Throwing themselves, but there's problems there. And then you have what I call the masked men. Masked men are basically men. They get in play because of their money and status. Now, just to be clear, even though I've publicly said, if you have sexual charisma or sexual magnetism, you can trump money and status. I never said it doesn't work. I mean, we got to be real out here. Many women are, as the pimp god Warren Lance would call them, acceptable hoes. So it's like if you got the money, they going to do whatever for you, right? So those are two select, right? Now understand something. Now somebody will look at the sexual kings, right, and feel like, hey, those guys just get a harem and they got women throwing them at them. Well, one, even in the best of circumstances, a man has to manage women. Let me say that again. Even in the best of circumstances, a man has to manage a woman. Because ultimately, women look to men for leadership, even if they don't think so. So you still have to deal with it. It's not a situation in most cases of the woman just show up to your place, you have sex with her, and she leaves. That's not realistic. She's going to want to talk to you about stuff. She's going to want to tell you about her problems, right? And then women, she going to be scheming to make you the one and only. So, that guy, he might have 5 women on, rotation, but he still got to deal with all of them. And all of them ain't going to be peaceful. Like, some of them going to be a little crazy. And then there's still going to be, I don't care how many women some guy gets and how select he is. If he go in a room and 7 of the women feeling him, I guarantee he wants the other 3. So understand something. Even the sexual king gets rejected. Because here's a consideration, and I've discussed this with my private groups, right? Women are deep to the point that if they can only keep select men in their friend zone, they'll do it. Let me say that again. If they can keep select men in their friend zone, they'll do it. That's how much some women don't want to deal with non-select men at all. Understand, that's how deep that whole select, non-select thing is. If the woman sees you as non-select, she don't even want to be your friend. And you see some women who can pull that off. You notice they got they know all the men that women consider fine, or they know all the guys who got money and stuff, right? So that's one thing. That's with them. And then you gotta deal with stalkers. You gotta deal with women. Like some people would think that that's the life if you got women stalking you or something and bothering you and hitting you up when you don't want to be bothered and stuff. Because, they haven't experienced it. But one thing, when women are stalking you, it gets a little crazy. You got to park your car in weird places. You got to make sure you keep some money to get new tires. Probably had to get a car that doesn't have an easy access gas cap. Then that's just with your car. If you're living in the wrong place, you might get something busted out. Shoot. You sleep or you resting or something, you done had sex, you know what, you done put your all into it. Shoot, your woman trying to get into your phone and stuff, be grabbing your finger and stuff if you got one of those fingerprint things and trying to open it up. You get a bunch of stuff. And then, it's just a lot of drama. It's just a lot of drama. And that's just the sexual kings, right? Then you got the masked men, right? Now understand something. A man is all right, and he gonna get some fine women and everything. He gonna get somewhat what the sexual kings are getting, just not in the same way. But here's the issue. That might work if the guy doesn't have any intention of settling down, or he don't get caught up with a woman. He just want to live that player lifestyle, right? But a lot of guys out here ain't trying to be players, especially a lot of masked men. They get that money and everything. Deep down, they doing it so they can provide for a woman, so they can have a family. Now, here's the problem: if they wearing a certain mask to get a woman, they pretty much got to keep that mask on. Now, if she think you some like confident, money making dude, take charge dude, shoot, you can't show any vulnerability. Or if you got her like doing that aloof thing where she gotta chase you down, shoot, you can't all of a sudden change up and be like real nice and everything. See, the problem with the mask, and I've talked about this several times, it's a theme in my work. Once you put it on, you gotta leave it on. And to the point even when you try to take it off, your real face has become the mask. And you no longer know who you are. Right? So you getting some finer women, but what are you really getting? First of all, in your heart, if you didn't have that money, or you didn't have that E-class, or you didn't have that personal tailor, that woman probably wouldn't give you the time of day. Any man who's made a lot of money, who's pulled a lot of women after he all of a sudden is started making a lot of money, like the baseline is 6 figures, right? That's the baseline. Any man will know all of a sudden you looking at that woman's motives. You looking at that woman's motives because you asking yourself, is she with me for me, or she with me for the money? Now, some dudes don't care. Know she with her for the money and just act accordingly. But like I said, there's a lot of good dudes out there who really ain't trying to be players. So they asking, damn, what's up? Some dudes get slick about it, pick up the woman in a date in a hoopty or something, see what's up. Act a little cheap, wear some bummy clothes at first to see what's up. Right? And then there's always the trust issue. Because, ultimately you like, no matter what the woman does, if you smart, you got some money, you thinking to yourself, all right, what's up? That's why a lot of dudes who do get some money to get up there, they get a vasectomy. That's why they do it, because they looking back like, I don't know. What am I do with this woman? I got to sit back and think about this. All right? I got to sit back and think about this. What's up? All right? You got to think about it. But here's the bottom line with it all. You can't really see it from the outside, because a lot of people see it from the outside and they don't see the problems. They don't see the stalker. Especially with the sexual kings, because they dipping and ducking in the dark anyway. They coming through the back door. You ain't gonna see them. You ain't gonna see those issues, or you ain't gonna see some other dude trying to put a bullet in said sexual king because that sexual king was dicking down their woman or something. You don't see that drama, or you ain't seeing past the mask. Yeah, that dude he big man on campus, or he the man. And stuff, talking loud and all that. Shoot, you ain't gonna see that other stuff. And really, you can't really describe it. Like, I just gave y'all some brief stuff, but until you live it, you really don't understand it. Because I've had several dudes hit me up who've kind of been on both sides. They actually made that transition. They say it's a different thing. Like, even if you getting too many women, you get some guys who go from not really getting anybody to getting too many women, and there's a point they always like, damn, this is crazy. But you have to be in that world to understand. So anyway, all I'm doing is I ain't trying to make anybody feel bad or anything. If you ain't in that world, I'm just giving you a perspective. So anyway, that's it for now. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace and blessings.